Part 4 covers very important ideas. Calcium, magnesium, and vitamin K. I call them the 3 musketeers. But there should be 4 musketeers because vitamin D, they all work together in synergy to keep the calcium out of your arteries, because that's what causes arteriosclerosis, and get it into your bones so that you don't have osteoporosis. But you need all of this together. If you've been told you just need to take calcium, that doesn't work. You need all of these working in unison. Calcium. Epidemiologists, these are the doctors that go around and study different cultures and different population groups. They found population groups that were very low in calcium intake. Yet they're healthy. They have beautiful teeth, strong bones. How can this be? Well, we'll unravel that paradox. And in doing so, we will try to help you find the right calcium protocol for yourself. Magnesium. Oh, very important. The Academy of Science says most people do not take in the recommended daily allowance of magnesium. That's many of you right here. Complementary health practitioners have also found that magnesium may be the most efficient mineral in North America, causing many unnecessary health issues. My book tries to clear up the confusion about all of this. So you read it, you'll understand it. Just read these few pages, and it's taken me a long time to get that put together for you so that you could really understand it. Vitamin K. Science has now discovered that vitamin K specifically keeps calcium out of your arteries and takes it to your bones. When I went to college in the 50s, we were told that vitamin K was important for clotting mechanisms. And that was the party line for decades. But now we know more. But you know something? Japanese villagers had the answer centuries ago. I go to these ancient cultures. I've taken so many things that are in this book from ancient cultures. They didn't know all of these science that we know today, but they knew. People know. People learn things intuitively, and they work them into their life. So we can learn things from them, and I have, and I want to share those with you. They eat a fermented food called natto, N-A-T-T-O, which keeps their bones strong and their arteries clean. We know that because those groups have been studied. What's the secret? You guessed it. Natto is chock full of vitamin K. I don't want to miss a page here. Good. Part 4, nutritional gems. I love this section because these are some of my favorite nutrients. They're fun and they do so much, but I could only share a few of them today. There's lots more in the book. Cocoa. Cocoa. The Mayan Indians named cocoa food of the gods, a pretty high status. They didn't have the science then, but they knew. They knew what it was doing for them. Now we know that it protects arteries, fights chronic inflammation, and it does much more. It keeps your mood up. But you got to get the good stuff. All chocolate isn't good. Green tea. Matcha green tea, get this, matcha green tea produces calm, relaxed, alertness. Now that's wonderful. That's the same kind of thing you get from meditation. It keeps you at peace and at the same time fired up. I'm on it right now. You can see that.
Here's a secret.
It also gives you 1,000 times more antioxidants than blueberries, which have been named the world's best food. The magic is in the polyphenols. Don't miss the chapter on green tea. It's worth the price of the book all by itself. And here's another one that's worth the price. Garlic. Garlic cloves provide an active ingredient that acts like an antibiotic. It really does, and they used to use it as an antibiotic before they had antibiotics. And it also fights heart disease and cancer, and it does a lot more. We'll give you an ingenious method for extracting the allicin from the garlic clove. And we'll show you how to avoid the offensive odor. Now I'm telling you, this is a secret, because hardly anybody knows this. But it's in this book, and I hope that you spread the word. Oregano oil. Oregano oil fights bacteria, viruses, parasites, fungus. Did I miss one? Yeast infection. And usually only one drop is needed as a treatment. I like to go hiking in the mountains. And when I do, I take my little bottle of oregano oil with me. Why? Because if I have water that's not trustworthy, I just put some oregano oil in it, and it cleans it right up. I use it for oral hygiene. When I put a drop on my toothbrush and brush my teeth, it cleans the plaque off my teeth. I go to the dentist, he says, "You don't need a cleaning, John. Whatever you're doing, just keep up the good work." I mean it. And it keeps my mouth pristine. Cuts, sterilizes them. Cold sores, a couple little dabs, the cold sore's gone. Insect bites, like tick bites, you don't want that infection going into your body. You immediately put some oregano oil on it, cleans it up. I'm not kidding. This is like a miracle, isn't it? You haven't heard about it. I'm glad you're here. My mantra for oregano oil is I never leave home without it. I love you guys. You're such an attentive audience. This is fun. I was worried I might bore you. Superstar Foods is the part 6. Foods. The epigram, I have to go back to the epigram at the beginning of the book. You'll see it there. Let foods be your medicine and medicine your foods. Hippocrates said that, 400 BC. Well, this is 2,400 years later, and it's still, that wisdom is still true. So let's look at the medicinal qualities of a few sample foods, just to get the idea, the flavor of that. Apples. Apples. There are polyphenols in the skin of apples that powerfully fight free radicals that we've talked about, and abnormal inflammation. And they do much more. I've only got one line here, but there's a whole page or two on apples. So your grandmother was right when she said, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. She was right. She didn't know this. We know it now. Cranberries. They prevent bacterial adhesion to tissues. If they don't adhere, they can't start an infection. Scientists are trying to unravel the mystery and make a drug out of it. And that's good. It'll help a lot of people. Chia seeds. Chia seeds, they contain more omega-3 than any other plant. And so much more. My editor gave me a little book on chia seeds. I prize that little book because it tells you everything you ever wanted to know about chia seeds. How could you write a whole book on chia seeds? But it's true. And I take some every day. You can ask Ann. I take chia seeds every day. They're great. They have runners in southern Mexico that used to run 100 miles in one fell swoop. 100 miles. How did they do it? They just kept a little thing of chia seeds, and they'd put a teaspoon in their mouth every once in a while, and they could just keep going and going. The energy would just keep flowing. They learned that from the Inca. I hope I'm not overwhelming you. I'm trying to keep my energy down because I sometimes get over people's heads. Sesame seeds increase nitric oxide in the blood. What's that? It opens up your blood vessels, and the perfusion of blood to your heart muscle is greater, and it relaxes the blood vessels so your blood pressure can come down. Good thing to have. I sprinkle some on my food all the time. I have it on the table. That's easy. They also increase the effectiveness of vitamin E, so you get a double whammy there. Cinnamon. I keep that on the table too, because every time I see a food that's got too high a glycemic index, or I just put a little cinnamon on it. What does it do? It just slows that food absorption down. And that just automatically cleans up the glycemic index. How simple is that? Well, there's so many more I could tell you about, but you've got the idea. I'd like to talk to you all night. Do you like me to talk to you all night? I could just give you the whole book right here and you won't have to buy it. The thrust of this book you've got is prevention. The ideas expounded here have the potential of being transformative in your world. Believe me, that's the truth. These nutrient strategies can help you become the author of your future health, your energy, and your well-being. And as your energy increases, your exercise program will increase. It'll just be like a snowball going down the hill. You'll just get better and better. It doesn't matter how old you are. You can start right now. Thank you all for listening, and thanks for coming. Thank you to McNally Robinson for providing these wonderful facilities, and many thanks to the people that helped make this a success. I'll enjoy meeting many of you personally. In fact, some of you I met 30 or 40 years ago. You've come and identified yourself as patients that I treated then. Over a cup of tea, we'll talk, and maybe I'll answer some of your questions. And I'd like to make this offer before I get out of here. I'd like to say this. If any of you can assemble a group of, let's say 10 or more people, I may be willing to be a speaker for your group. We'll have fun. Call the Cost Chiropractic Center and leave a message, and we'll see what we can arrange. Thank you again for listening.